Welcome to A2NewTech. I'm Brian Kelly, your monthly host. First timers, throw a hand up. All right. Without fail, everyone who's returned here can attest to it being another 50% of new people every time. This has been going on since 2009. For anyone who doesn't know, we've had over 100 meetups, over 300 companies have pitched here, and we have almost 5,000 members. 193 have RSVP'd this evening. Per usual, about half to two-thirds of those show up. People will be straggling in through here as we go. So, you know, this event has been completely community organized since the beginning. It was a big influence to me to move to Ann Arbor from the Washington, D.C. area back in 2012 when I moved here. And I couldn't be happier to be hosting this event, you know, almost going on a year now. I took over as MC for just about a year ago. Why do we do this? So everyone in this room comes from all different kinds of backgrounds. Obviously, our common thread of interest here is technology, startups, and everyone's really heads down doing what you're doing, whether you're in school or you're learning to code or you're an engineer or you're a founder. And we have a small but growing community here, and it's really important to take the time to get together in the same physical space at least once a month. And so this has been, NewTech has been a really nice forum for that I hope you'll continue to enjoy. If the one thing to do tonight, other than enjoy the pitches and ask some hard questions, is meet somebody interesting here. It's a really neat opportunity to get in face-to-face with other people with like interests. Maybe you'll find your next co-founder, never know. A thank you to a couple of different sponsors. A2 Geeks is a nonprofit organization, organized, again, kind of community organized, that puts events like this and Coffee House Coders on. It's dedicated to making Ann Arbor a great place for geeks and creatives to live, work, and play. To the other organizers and founders of NewTech, Scott, Zach, Doug, David, really appreciate all the help this happens. I'm not the only one involved in this. There's other organizers that help find the speakers every month, and it wouldn't happen without them. The U of M Law School, specifically the Entrepreneurship Clinic, and Bryce Pills, they've been our host for the space over the last couple years. So big thanks to them. They're even handling our live streaming tonight. So thank you, U of M. We're always the third Tuesday of each month. 5 companies give a 5-minute pitch. It's always 5 minutes. I run a timer down here, and we'll try to not so rudely interrupt anybody going over. And then we have 5 minutes of audience Q&A. So it's rapid fire. You'll want some of them to be longer, but hopefully you won't want any one of them to be shorter, because it's only 5 minutes long. If you know anyone that might want to pitch or you want to pitch in the future, email organizers@a2newtech.org. That will get to me and a bunch of other people, and we'd love to get you in as soon as next month. We have some slots open. This will run until about 8 p.m. Or sooner. We're actually going to have 6 companies tonight because of a special cohort of companies that we have coming in tonight that I'll talk about in a minute. We'll have time at the end for community announcements. So if you're looking for a job, you're looking to hire somebody, you want to plug another meetup, you do your own podcast, as one individual here will be talking about, it's open to everyone. So think of your announcement, I'll have people line up, and you'll have time to plug it here. Afterward, there's always a good group of people that head over to Pizza House. It's not that far away. If you need to know where it is, ask somebody here. But a good contingent of people, at least like a couple dozen people, will be there afterward tonight. I like to recommend a podcast every month. I usually have like a B2B software or entrepreneurship or pitch podcast to recommend. This one, funny enough, it's like a super popular podcast, but I have only recently started listening to it. Everyone knows Tim Ferriss, yes, 4-Hour Workweek guy. So I listened to my first episode of the Tim Ferriss Show recently, episode 175 from July. It was a public chat that he did at Google, and sort of a sum up, I think, of a lot of themes that he talks about, but I found it really interesting and really relevant, not so much to like how to raise money or start a business, but like how to run your life, basically. It's his title for it is How to Cage the Monkey Mind, and it's a really good collection of things about focus, and I think you should check it out. So with that, this month is special because Desai Accelerator, for those of you who don't know, is in its just completed its second year cohort. This is a startup accelerator similar to, you might have heard of like Y Combinator or Techstars. This is our Ann Arbor edition that we have right here in town. And I'm going to welcome Kelly LaPierre, who is the managing director of Desai, to the stage to introduce it a bit and tell us about it before we jump into the pitches.
Cool. Thanks, Brian. So hi, everyone. My name is Kelly LaPierre. I'm the managing director here at the Desai Accelerator. For any of you guys who don't know, the Desai Accelerator is a joint initiative at the University of Michigan between the Zeller Institute at the Ross School of Business and the Center for Entrepreneurship at the College of Engineering. It's a joint program, so while it's a University of Michigan program, it's open to anyone. As Brian mentioned, we are just wrapping up our second cohort. So we accept companies in cohorts. So we have 6 companies you'll hear from today, and they go through our intensive 16-week program where they receive funding, mentorship, access to amazingly talented student interns that will help them work on their business. And so that's it. I'm going to keep it short and sweet so we can get through these companies and turn it over to our first founder.
Yeah. Thanks, Kelly. No, I'd be happy to introduce David Kay. David is the co-founder of Gaudium. Gaudium is a game development company focused on bringing anime-style games to a global audience. And this company idea, people all came together through a game dev meetup group at the university called Wolverine Soft. So with that, David, welcome, and can't wait to hear about Gaudium.
All right. I don't think I need the microphone. All right. So hopefully this clicker works. I haven't tested it yet. All right, it works. So my name is David. I'm co-founder of Gaudium, and Gaudium is a local game development studio founded here in Ann Arbor, and our focus is on bringing anime-style content here to the West. So before I talk more about what my team is actually doing to accomplish this goal, I want to first talk a little bit about history. So you saw this guy a second ago. This is Pikachu, and Pokemon was formed 20 years ago, and it took the world by storm. Over the course of 20 years, it essentially generated over $58 billion in revenue. And the latest game in the lineup, Pokemon Go, which you probably all know about, is even playable on mobile devices. And you'll see countless people playing it outside right now. It was released just a few weeks ago, and in a couple of days, it became a worldwide sensation. And right now, Pokemon, the IP, is worth a lot of money. But Pokemon was only one example of successfully exported Japanese titles. The anime genre as a whole has been gaining traction worldwide and developing a huge fan base. And the idea of the anime art style has even become synonymous with creative freedom and expression. But one of the biggest problems that befalls this audience is that they can't always access the content that they love so much. And that's a reason because the studios that produce them are all located in East Asia, resulting in natural language barriers and also artificial region locks. And that's a pretty ridiculous idea to think about. So our vision here at Gaudium is to circumvent those barriers and produce anime content and media right here in the US, where English is the main language. So how are we doing that, and through what channels? Well, if we think back a second to Pokemon, we know that a lot of its success is because of the small collectible characters and the allure of catching them all. But another key aspect is actually the idea of mobility. So you could originally play it on your Game Boy Color and bring it with you anywhere, and nowadays you can do the same on your mobile phone. And that combination of collection and mobility is such a powerful concept, and it's why 85% of all mobile app revenue is generated through gaming. It makes mobile the perfect platform for Gaudium's first product, Armor Blitz. Armor Blitz is a digital collectible card game where you can assemble an army of World War II inspired characters to fight off the world's corrupt forces. So essentially, we're taking historical military vehicles and then putting our own spin on it. So on the left, you'll see the Katusha rocket truck, and then on the right is our rendition, the character Katusha. When you first enter Armor Blitz, you're greeted by Lieutenant Rachel, and she's relaying a very important message to you. The corruption are attacking, and you as a new general are in command to push them out. As you continue to play, you'll discover the various role-playing and also strategy aspects that we've built into the game's design. This is the world map where you can collect resources, build new units, fight armies, and also customize them so that each player's experience is unique. And this is an example of our real-time gameplay, which is an adjustment we made for the Western audience, who tends to prefer more interactive content than what the Eastern Asian studios typically offer. So far, Armor Blitz has been featured on the Square Enix Collective program, which, if you didn't know, Square Enix is one of the world's largest game publishers. And it's helped us get press coverage on other sites such as Silicon Era and also Goboyano, the BuzzFeed for anime. Our team has been working together ever since our days in Wolverine Soft, which is the University of Michigan's game development club. And after winning a lot of local game competitions and also deploying live products to the Google Play Store, we decided that we could do something even bigger, Armor Blitz. But in addition to our local team, we also work with artists from around the world who align with our vision. To date, there are over 20 artists that have contributed not just content, but also helped to spread the Armor Blitz brand to their own fans. It's helped us gain a lot of traction on social media, and some of them even draw fan art for us, which, as a developer, is amazing to see your own designs being recreated by others. And Armor Blitz is actually in live beta testing right now, with over 3,000 downloads and an 18% day 7 retention rate, which is much higher than the industry average of just 10%. Our rollout strategy includes a regional release later next week, actually, and a full release on November 1st. So if you want to help us test or learn more, you can follow that link and talk to us afterwards. Thank you.
Got some questions for David.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind, push the button on your mic so that the microphone recording picks up, if you can, or speak loudly.
Yeah, questions?
First down here. You have to hold it. Yeah.
So, can you remind us how you're going to make money with this?
Yeah, so the business model for Armor Blitz is freemium. So essentially, the barrier to entry is almost zero. And players can download the game for free, play it, and then if they really enjoy the content, or if they're really impatient, they can rush timers, which are built into the game's design. So it's monetized through in-app purchases. We also have a side channel of incentivized ads, so players can also watch ads within the game, and it's completely optional. Other questions? Did I nail it? Yeah, back there.
So how many people actually pay for premium? I mean, I'm crazy, so I spend $100 on Pokemon, but what is the industry standard on this kind of stuff?
Yeah, so more specific to our genre, we use the digital collectible card game market. And almost all those are freemium because of the business model. And that market is $1.3 billion. So even though they're free apps, they actually monetize extremely well. And that's why F2P is free-to-play is the basically gold standard for mobile these days. Yeah.
Is it a multiplier?
What was that?
Is it a multiplier exchange?
Yeah, so we actually have server architecture. So every time a player logs in, they connect to our server, and we have competitive leaderboards, we have a friend system, and in the future, we're going to continue rolling out like cooperative events and ways for players to interact with each other.
You press and hold it. It's
Hold it and I have to talk.
not terribly friendly.
Thank you. Do you need money, or are you looking for funding, or is this kind of a thing where you and what are you going to use the funding for?
Right, so far we've been basically self-funded. We have some money from Desai as well, from their grant. And then we also won the Michigan Business Challenge last year, and the Dare to Dream program also helped. So we do have a chunk of startup capital. But an interesting thing is when we started the project, we wanted to do something that we could accomplish from beginning to end and release the full thing if we got no money. So every dollar we get is essentially a multiplier on the quality. and content we're able to produce. And if, like, our goal for funding right now is to fund user acquisition for our main launch in November 1st. Yeah, again.
And how are you going to do that?
Our marketing channels are primarily through incentivized ads on targeted websites, also Facebook, and also we have organic channels like our own artists. So I mentioned before that the artists we have their own fan bases. We typically commission artists with 10 to 40,000 followers. So when our game releases, we'll be able to tap into their networks to let all those fans know that our game is essentially released. And we also have a trailer that's in the works right now. And the singer for that, singing the trailer's song, is Amelie. She has over 700,000 YouTube subscribers. So we have quite a few channels that are just waiting to be opened up.
Question here?
So,
Yeah, the link doesn't come on. It probably still is fine.
so how much are you hoping to raise, or how much do you expect to raise?
Our main ask was 350,000, and primarily most of it is for user acquisition. And a lot of it is also for content runway after we release.
Question.
What do you see as the main drivers for your retention rate?
So yeah, retention is the key point for all mobile games. Our main driver is primarily our timer system and also the friend system. So by allowing players to like interact with their buddies and also set timers for themselves through push notifications, it helps to bring people back as they're basically setting their own alarm clock for themselves.
One more question up there.
What are you doing to increase switching costs? So I don't go to another gaming company and just who like ripped you off and did the exact same thing.
What was that?
So what are you doing to increase switching costs from your specific games or your platform?
So to bring people in from other games?
No, to prevent them from leaving.
So our aesthetic is obviously very unique, and that's one of our main value adds, is that there's really not any other games that use this kind of art style with the quality we're pushing out, as well as the theme of it, which is like anime tank characters. It's a pretty unique theme, so that's our key for keeping the dedicated fans in.
Cool. Well, let's give everyone a hand.
Thank you, everyone.
If you think of more questions later, we always have some time, people mingle around at the end for a while, so you'll be able to find all the speakers tonight. So next up, please welcome Brandon. He's the founder and CEO at Jamhawk, which is a curated music discovery service that streams newly released music using neuroscience research and human curation to predict the hits. All right, I'm excited to hear about this one. I'll leave it to you.
Hi, I'm Brandon Sledge-Mellon, founder of Jamhawk, a music discovery service. I'm here today to unearth the greatest music you never knew existed. I'm here to do this because there's a real problem out there, people. A disease known as playlisteria fatigalomicus, colloquially known as playlist fatigue syndrome. It's a difficulty of building and managing playlists. Symptoms include monotony, boredom, and wasted time listening to Katy Perry. This makes music discovery incredibly difficult. On this chart, you'll see a list of different services that people use to discover new music in 2015. One thing you'll notice is that people used AM/FM radio and friends and family more than the music technology to find new music. The music technology is not solving the music discovery problem. As you look closer, you'll notice that people even used Facebook more than Spotify to find new music. In fact, this market is so fragmented, Nielsen found that over 80% of Americans with music streaming accounts have more than one music streaming service. Now, the market research suggests this number is so high because there's a significant level of dissatisfaction. People can't get the experience they want, so they're forced to build it by using different services for different functions. Here's why this is happening. On this Venn diagram, you'll see that we've listed different sources of music discovery. Now, these sources provide a bevy of different functions. Some they perform well and some they don't. The point here is that nobody focuses exclusively on music discovery, and therefore they don't solve it all that well. But at Jamhawk, this is all that we do. We're completely built for discovery, from concept to product. It starts by employing a scientific approach to music discovery. Recently, neuroscientists revealed that activity within the ventral striatum, a major portion of our brain's reward system, was significantly correlated to the eventual commercial success of new songs, as respondents were scanned while listening to new music. Now, these incredible results serve as the basis and methodology of our hit prediction system that we use to distill millions and millions of song possibilities into a smaller, optimized database of 30,000 songs of the highest quality. Furthermore, we provide you with a service where you can find fresh new music, quickly get down to what's just right for you, and seamlessly integrate your findings into your existing libraries like Spotify and iTunes. Now, we do this because it's a huge benefit to you, but we also do this because you don't have to change much about your current behavior. Our discovery system is currently available to you as a web player, and we're building our iPhone app, which will be released this month. As you look at our web player, you'll notice intuitive and innovative tools that will help you unearth the greatest music you never knew existed. It starts by integrating a filter system that solves the problem of being so overwhelmed in other systems. These filter systems help you quickly get down to the music that's just right for you. We allow you to select genre, subgenre, and popularity so you can quickly find what you want. Next, we solve the problem of being so confined in other systems by actually giving you a choice over your next song. This is in our recommendation system that sits down at the bottom of the player. Now, these recommended songs are based on your current filter selections, your current song selection, and your history of likes and dislikes. 2 months ago, we launched the web version of our product as a beta test. And since then, we've grown to over 500 beta testers that have given us great feedback that we've been able to iterate into the build of our mobile app. When we started, one of the key metrics we wanted to track was skip rate, or the percentage of time that a person hits the skip button while they're in our system. Now, we wanted to track this because we wanted to be sure that our recommendations were actually working. When we started, our skip rate, was about 38%. As we've learned to grow and iterate feedback and optimize content, we've been able to drive this rate down to 23% today, and we continue to improve in this endeavor. I would love to talk more about the upcoming release of our iPhone app and show you how it works on my new phone that I just bought today. So please come and find me after the presentations if you're interested, talking about how Jamhawk can help you unearth the greatest music you never knew existed. Thank you.
Holding myself back from my questions. You go first.
So what's your objective to help people find new music that they wouldn't otherwise choose, or to help them find more of the music they already like?
Yeah, so the typical use case is, right, you get tired of your current playlist and other services, and this is part of how we fit into the market. So there's an active music discovery problem where you don't know where to go when you're looking for something to kind of refresh your library. There are services here that solve a passive discovery problem, right, with Shazam. But you already know the starting point. You already know what you like, and there's nobody in the space of active music discovery that you can then integrate into your, say, Spotify playlist, which is where we come in and fill that gap.
But the application of technology to music has shown that the scope of variety narrows over time in pop songs. Is that what you're supporting, or are you supporting the broadening of musical taste? Just personally, I'm more moved by things that surprise me than by things that satisfy my existing expectations.
Yeah, no, that's actually a great point. So part of what we're doing, nobody really sets up a filter for the music that gets into the system so you can kind of find those gems. And so what's out there is the same value prop over and over again of, you know, there's 30 million songs in Spotify, there's 40 million songs in Tidal, there's 30 million songs in Apple Music. And as the main thesis there is that tastes are expanding, right? And you want to have as many songs in the system, but it takes you so long to find what you actually want. So the difference with us is we use neuroscience, music theory, and human curation to actually act as a filter between the 30 million songs and the 30,000 songs, so we can just grab the best music out of that bunch And then based on your widening music taste, you can quickly find what's just right for you.
Question over here.
Since you're using skip rate as a metric, do you have a sense for how your skip rate compares with Spotify and some other players in the market?
Yeah, that's a great question as well. I've been digging around for the information, but most of the players in this space are private companies, and they don't necessarily have to reveal their metrics. What I can say is that it also wouldn't be in kind of an apples to apples comparison because we're just new music, so we're just a discovery service. So really, we're just kind of relying on ourselves and seeing how we're improving and basing it on user feedback.
Question back here in the middle.
Do you have a specific customer demographic that you're targeting?
Yeah, absolutely. So based on what we know about our social outreach and the users that are currently on our site, it's mainly millennials. To give you, a more focalized view, it's 18 to 24-year-olds, more women than men, about 60% women, 40% men, tend to live in urban areas, and they tend to be professionals, so they tend to have bachelor's degrees. They also, because of that, because they have professional jobs, they tend to not have a lot of time. Because they don't have a lot of time, they need something to make it easier for them and to save them time and fatigue.
All in back.
How are you using neuroscience to predict the number of hits, like the featured hits of the song?
Yeah, so there was a study done at Emory University. It was called Neuropredictors of Cultural Popularity. In it, they were able to link activity within the ventral striatum to the eventual commercial success of songs. So as we're scaling, we're learning how to replicate that study and integrate those findings into our system. Right now, what we're doing is we're examining traits of certain songs and boiling them down to the traits that are linked to the research, right? Because there's a certain anticipation reward cycle to every song. So to give you a great example, examples of these traits would include things like the chorus of the song has to come within the first 60 seconds, the vocal intro has to come within the first 20 seconds, and that's linked to the actual human response to the song, as opposed to just examining, say, 5,000 traits per song, which is what our competitors do.
Question up here in the middle.
Hi, Spotify does have the Discover Weekly, which I know I listen to a lot and have found lots of really interesting new music through there. How do you see yourself competing with such an established user base and some other discovery things like that?
Yeah, well, so I would say we're competing with the feature, but not necessarily the service, because we're actually complementing Spotify, because you can use us to build your Spotify playlist. The way that we're different is that's passive. What I'm defining as passive behavior, in which you're not really asking for new music, right? It's just kind of being served to you, and it's only 30 songs. We're a robust system, so when you're actively saying, I want to go somewhere to find new music, I don't know the destination to go to, right? And so that's why you would use us as opposed to using a passive function.
One final question.
I may have missed it, but what is your monetization strategy?
Yeah, so we're a freemium model, so free with ads, $7.99 for a subscription, and then we collect a referral fee every time somebody purchases a song in our system.
Cool. Well, thanks, Brent.
Thank you.
Great question. So next up, we have Lakshmi from Roomations. She's the co-founder and CEO. Roomations allows realtors to connect their clients with a network of interior designers to transform their home and turn clients into advocates.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Lakshmi, founder and CEO of Roomations, a site that connects homeowners with a network of interior designers online. How many of you have ever moved into a home and had to set it up? Seems like most of you here have. A few people still live with their parents. So I'm a mom of two incredibly energetic little boys, and because we've had a few moves, I've had to spend a lot of time setting up. Don't you love the excitement of being in a new place? Look at this big space. It's kind of a blank slate for anything. So maybe in all this excitement, you start getting a ton of ideas of how to set it up. Maybe you surf Pinterest or look at Houzz or magazines or watch HGTV. Or maybe you have absolutely no idea where to start. When I say a ton of ideas, I mean a ton. The idea of going through all these sites and picking furniture and paint colors while I'm also trying to manage my kids' schools, meals, and schedules is pretty overwhelming. We're part of a generation in which we're overwhelmed with too much information and too many options about everything. From reading through thousands of reviews about one gray couch to being bombarded with social media photos and feeling like we need to have our home done beautifully and quickly, like that annoying Facebook friends that post way too much information. Last year, in 2015, there were 6 million homes purchased in the United States. That means there were 6 million times people thought about furniture. 6 million times they thought about paint colors. 6 million times people had to set up a home. These new homeowners, on average, spent $7,400 in the first year alone on retail products. So that translates into a $44 billion industry. And you know, me and my family, we were part of this industry a little earlier this year when we purchased our home. And when our realtor took us through the process, she had all these cool tools, like a site that helps us with our closing documents and other sites that connected us with vendors and movers to directly get quotes and coordinate our move. But there was nothing our realtor could have given us that would have helped us set up the home, which is the most longest lasting and overwhelming part of the home process. Roomations is that solution. Let me show you how it works. Meet Amanda from Seattle. Amanda recently bought a home with her husband and 2 children. And before she even closed on the home, she started getting excited about how to set it up and surfing Pinterest and saving ideas on how to put together her living room. But right when it started getting overwhelming, her realtor came to her and said, "Hey, listen, Amanda, I'm not an interior designer, but through Roomations, I have access to a network of 100 vetted interior designers. One of them will connect with you and help you set up your place." So Amanda goes to her realtor's branded interior design website powered by Roomations. She submits her home dilemma, figuring out a floor plan for her living room. She tells us more about the living room and sends her links to her Pinterest and house boards. And she takes our proprietary style quiz that helps us understand her tastes. She's then connected with Blair, one of our vetted interior designers. Blair responds to her with a vision of what her space could look like, along with links to products that she recommends to get her home done. With Roomations, homeowners get the answers they need, designers earn money for their work, and realtors get the accolades. And you know, I've brought up realtors a few times today and I really wanted to dig into this because this is our go-to market strategy. There are 2 million licensed real estate agents in the United States. This is a massive market. They spend $8.9 billion on marketing alone. And it's such a competitive market that they're looking for innovative ways for them to stand out of the clutter. Typically, they try to do that by sending their clients home with a closing gift, anywhere from $100 and $300. It's usually wine, a gift basket, gift cards, or a knife set with their name embossed on it. Who really remembers those? With Roomations, their client will now receive a blueprint of how to put their home together and an action plan of putting it together and so that they can start living. Now that's a lot more memorable. You know, we initially tested our market with 100 paying homeowner projects, and that helped us understand the needs of both the homeowners and the interior designers. We launched our realtor-facing subscription site just a couple weeks ago, right before our demo day, and we've already made sales with 5 realtor teams. On average, these teams have 70 transactions per year, so in just these last couple weeks alone, we're now getting Roomations in the hands of 350 new homeowners. This is the present. Let me give you a glimpse of the future. With realtors, we've now created ourselves a sales force of people who are recommending Roomations for us. New construction home builders, relocation services, and furniture retailers would all benefit from our platform. And we're talking to players in virtual reality so that we can streamline the way a homeowner visualizes a designer-recommended products in their home. We're ready and excited to take the nagging headache of putting your home together off the hands of homeowners everywhere. So come talk to me, pull up a chair, or let me know if you need one.
Who wants to start? Got some questions right down here in the middle.
So are you targeting like a specific section of the market, like upscale homes, certain income levels?
So we're actually targeting realtors right now, and realtors, and so we have a target demographic within realtors, so those that have a certain number of transactions per year, and typically the sale value of the home is anywhere between $200,000 and $700,000. So that's who we're targeting, to get to the homeowners that are the right user. Mm-hmm.
I did a similar project to you, and I talked to realtors, and like they said, one of their problem was that if they spend that money, spend that time working to get their next deal, they make more money. So the question is, how much time do they spend like recommending your platform? How much money do they make off of that?
So it's a quick thing. So once they sign up, the branding is all done. They just have to send out a link to their clients. So that part of it is pretty quick. And then it's just, and then we provide them with tools to continue that relationship with their clients.
They have no responsibility after they send you the client?
No. Yeah, so it's kind of, they just sign them up, and that's the perk of the program. Yeah.
So why only home purchases? Why not home rents? You can simply go to community houses and
Sure.
the leasing
Sure.
offices.
Yeah, absolutely. We wanted to have a good starting point, and people who have purchased a home are more invested in setting it up and spending the money to put it together, and they're thinking about a more longer-term solution.
So if I understand correctly, you have live people who are making recommendations. How do they get paid? How much do they get paid?
So it depends on the type of dilemma they're being asked, and it ranges anywhere from $15 for a quick, help me with a paint color question, to $250 if they're looking for an entire vision for a room, and it ranges depending on the type of designer, their level of experience.
You showed some mock-ups of potential furniture and artwork. Is that part of the platform, the software that you try to mock up, or is that?
Sure, that's kind of our peak product that you can get, which is a 3D vision of your room, and then you get the shopping list, which shows you where to purchase all those products. And yeah, so the products are tagged so you can visualize it.
I mean, it's cool to kind of put those graphics together.
Oh, I see. Okay, so there's the 3D software and stuff. So that's we're using software that's already out there, Autodesk, SketchUp, and designers are already trained in those. So it's not something that we built.
In your mock-up, you had Target, Home Depot. Is there a plan to create revenue around that?
Yes, there is. Currently we have an affiliate model, which is through Commission Junction. We'd like to solidify those partnerships even further in our timeline. Yes.
How do you vet your interior decorators?
My co-founder Katie has a background in design. So what we do is right now we have them submit a portfolio. We review their portfolio, we check for other qualifications, like if they're certifications, and look at their experience and decide based on that.
Question there?
Oh.
So everything online, or do you have designers really go to a house to help?
Everything is done online. So homeowners submit their pictures, they give measurements, everything is done through our platform. And so that way you can be in Ann Arbor and working with a designer in California. And so that's the value of they get a lower cost designer because it's all done virtually. And a designer can do it at their own free will.
Is there any planning aspect to it? Do you have a timeline on is there any kind of aspects of that in the application?
As in how to put the room together as far as
put the room together, and then which should you start first, lounge room, dining room?
Sure. We have talked a lot about that, and we've done that for a couple clients, but it's not something that we've built in yet. That is one of the future development ideas that we're talking about.
How do you plan on keeping on up with the trends of the changing collections at the stores?
Of changing, I'm sorry?
The collections of the brand stuff that they change at the stores. They bring out new stuff and take out old stuff.
Yeah, that happens fairly quickly. There are platforms out there that allows retailers to basically update all their inventory pretty regularly. So we're trying to connect with those. And that would make it a lot easier. But right now, designers individually go to the sites and look at products that are available.
That's all we have time for questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Eric Plummer from Sultant. He's the co-founder. Sultant is the digital chief financial officer for small businesses that don't have one. We make it simple for small business owners to make more informed decisions that improve the financial health of their business. I also have a fun fact about Eric. He beat the #1 ranked shot putter in the world in shot put during college. How about that?
So I'm Eric with Sultant, and Sultant is the Small Business Financial Health Monitor. We're really here to help small businesses understand their financial health. We all know the local coffee shop, the local gym, the local bakery that really has been a cornerstone of the community, that has really given jobs to people in need of jobs, has really built the community up in its own special and unique way. For us, we see this as a huge market. There are about 27 million small businesses in the U.S. But the biggest problem that we see, honestly, is about 50% of them fail within the first 5 years of operation. This is a huge number. And most of these failures are due to the fact that they don't understand their own financial health. Me and my partner wanted to spend some time thinking about how we could fix this problem. His background was that he was a business owner. He ran a health food bar company called Nuri that sold through Whole Foods and Wegmans. The biggest flaw that they saw was that they didn't quickly enough see the difference in their margins between wholesale and retail and e-commerce retail, and their business ended up collapsing because they couldn't track their financial health long term. In my background as a business consultant, I've spent years working with large companies to small companies, and really kind of what you see is that these large companies have these teams of analysts that help them think through the problems. These small companies are left by themselves. They have very simple questions sometimes, like when can I have my first employee, or when will I break even? And there's nobody there to help them and support them. So that's why we created Sultant. It's kind of the combination of his experience as a business owner and my experience as a consultant, helping to bring the technology in the middle to help small business owners succeed. Like I was saying before, these big companies, teams and teams of analysts, $100,000 a year, well overpaid, but they do a good job. They're able to help the CEO and the CFO think these financial problems. The small business owner, it's really just them and at best their CPA. Small business owners tend not to be very financially savvy, not really even understand what's going on with their books. All they really understand is that whether they made money or not, and not how to improve their performance. So we created Sultant to help solve that problem. In short, our biggest hypotheses were that what small business owners wanted from what we talked to them about was intuitive visualizations, simple insights, and actual recommendations. Really making it simple and easy for them to understand what's going on with the health of their business. So here's kind of a quick example of one of our dashboards. Recently, we launched our alpha product in May 2016. We launched on top of QuickBooks Online, and we got certified by QuickBooks by going through a technical, security, and marketing review. We had about 30 plus beta users come through and just test out our site, give us feedback, help get some understanding. We had a 5-star rating in the QuickBooks App Store, and then we received feedback. And that feedback for us was the most important part. And one of the key things that we learned was that for the small business owner, they have this intimate relationship with their CPA. In a lot of ways, they think their CPA is doing a lot of this financial health monitoring for them. The reality is that CPAs work on an hourly budget, and they have a ton of customers. They don't really have the ability to watch over every small business the way they'd like to. So what we realized is that Sultant has a way of filling that gap, of being able to help these CPAs and help these small business owners constantly monitor and watch over their financial health in real time. In talking to the CPAs, we learned a couple things were additional that we needed to add in order for the platform to be sustainable. Financial benchmarks, dashboards, and alerts. In order to address the benchmarks, we actually launched a product 2 weeks ago that has benchmarks online for businesses across the wide spectrum. You basically go in for industry, sub-industry, and asset class, and you can quickly see how your business compares to other businesses in your industry. It's at sultant.co/benchmarks. Additionally, we've started building out a CPA dashboard. And the idea of this is really to consolidate those individual customer views and to show them in one foul swoop for the CPA. So they can in one place see how the businesses are doing, be able to reach out and communicate with them, and also help them to get through problems and situations that they're seeing in their businesses. The biggest part about this is really the alerts. It's really giving the CPAs the ability to quickly get updates and alerts on how the businesses are doing, and they give them a to-do list on how to act on those insights. Originally, we thought our business was all about just the small business owner. What we realized for them was that the CPA is a huge piece of this puzzle, their accountant, their financial advisor. And Sultan's really here to bridge that gap. Originally, we were selling directly to small business owners. What we learned was that by selling to the CPAs, we have the ability to reach tons of business owners. And in fact, the numbers are pretty staggering. I guess I took it out of this deck. But there are about 125 small business owners per CPA. And that for us, based on our software service model, runs about $3,000 a CPA for each conversion that we're able to get, which creates a real market for us and a real ability to help small business owners at scale. But at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's a small business owner. And our goal and our objective is to help them understand their business like never before, so they can get back to baking cookies or running their gym and not worrying about the financial health of their business, because we got that for them. So thank you.
Great pitch. Let's have some questions. Start down here in front. Yes, sir.
So what kind of traction do you have so far? Do you have customers, pilot programs?
Yeah, so we have about 35 users right now. We've been getting feedback from them. Then we're working with a couple of CPAs now to secure some contracts to move forward. Yes, sir?
Did you have to convince those CPAs to shift from a system that they were already using? I assume you're up against some components in those space.
Funny enough, there aren't very many incumbents. So the reality is a lot of what they have is actually just QuickBooks Online. So they'll use that platform and go into each individual customer and see how they're doing. Recently, QuickBooks launched an accountant version, but even with that, you have to basically drill down to get to the information. So it's a really cumbersome process. So for us, it was really streamlining that and making it simpler to do. Yes.
Where were you able to aggregate the data for the benchmarks?
Yeah, so that's actually from IRS sources. So the IRS kind of keeps benchmarks from when you file your taxes, so you're able to quickly aggregate that and use it. We also have a potential partnership with a private company called ProfitSense that we've been working with for a while to get more rich data that will go down to the region level rather than just being at a national high level. Yes, sir?
Is your solution compatible with other software beyond QuickBooks, like Xero or
Yep.
Sage 50 or?
So not yet. The kind of the future roadmap is going to be, it's 2 future editions, going to be Xero and QuickBooks Desktop actually, with the addition of Wave and FreshBooks kind of over time. We probably won't go to Sage 50 based on kind of what we've seen.
Question down here?
Yes, sorry.
You mentioned visualizations, like how do you get the information from the CPA to the small business, and what items do you show the small business?
Yeah, so we pull the data directly from QuickBooks Online. What we show them is basically in 5 different categories. So it looks at revenue, cost, liquidity, profitability, and bankruptcy. And really it's kind of showing them 4 key metrics in each area that will help them to track or triangulate how they're doing over time. Yes, sir?
Do you treat CPAs as channel partners and give them a slice of the revenue?
Yeah, so we treat them depending on how they want to be treated. I don't know how that sounds, but it's basically they can either be a channel partner where they kind of pass us through, or they can be a user of the CPA dashboard and actually leverage the technology to upsell on consulting hours. Yeah.
How do you deal with small business owners that might not be like technically savvy enough to use like a program like this, or might not feel comfortable doing so?
Yeah, so kind of the barrier that we put up kind of purposefully is actually using QuickBooks Online. So if you haven't used QuickBooks Online, you're not able to actually access Sultant. So it kind of creates a natural self-selection process of like, if you don't use that, then you can't go to the next step. So eventually we'll kind of figure out the problem of like getting to those business owners that aren't technically savvy, but for now it's really focusing on the ones that really are.
I don't think you touched on this, but what's your revenue model? Is it like software as a service? They pay monthly, they pay annually?
Yep, software as a service, and it's a monthly recurring revenue is what it is right now.
So your product is a dashboard that works with QuickBooks, right?
Yep.
So the CPA inputs information, the business owner looks at the information, right?
But in some ways, yes. So the reason why QuickBooks Online is so successful is because actually a lot of times the business owner is putting information in as well. So it's like they're both
putting information
in. Yeah.
Okay. So they already had QuickBooks before, but they didn't have the visualization part of it, so they couldn't see where the weaknesses were. So this
Yes.
allows them to see weaknesses that they couldn't normally see.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the idea is basically, normally what you'll get is a black and white P&L or profit and loss statement that'll show you this long list of numbers. And if you don't like numbers, getting a long list of them isn't really the way you want to start your day. The idea is really to like synthesize that down and to like make it more appealing to look at. It's the same information, just shown to you in a different way that's hopefully more digestible.
Where's the actual consultant in it?
Yeah, so there's no actual consulting, so I purposely pulled out of that as trying to figure out how to make this scalable with the technology piece. Eventually what we'll get into actually is what we call sultants, which are basically people who are roughly customer service agents who actually have business backgrounds, who are able to basically pick up the phone and talk to these small business owners.
So who's your competition?
Yeah, so there are a couple players in the space. There's a couple that are just dashboard players, and that's a really interesting play. One's called Finagraph. There's another one called, Finagraph is the big one. And the reason why they're not as interesting is because they make the small business owner figure out their own metrics. And that's an interesting space to be in, because if they already don't like numbers, then how are they going to create a dashboard full of numbers that they don't even want to look at? So there's this really interesting play there. There's a couple other players that build on top of bank records that do kind of this same kind of analysis for bank records. The difference there is that these aren't their final data points. These are kind of data points that are in flux. So it's kind of that. Those are kind of the little variations that we've worked on so far.
That's all the time we have for questions. Thanks so much, Eric. That's really good. Really good questions tonight, too. Thank you, everybody, for actively listening and participating. Our last two presenters, this is our first, have presented at NewTech before. So those of you who have been here in the last 6 months or so, you've seen these. So you get to see a refresh of it. We do that sometimes, both when a company is like really making a lot of progress in a short amount of time, or they had an event. So this next one up, welcome Ferris from MySwimPro. He's the co-founder and CEO. MySwimPro is the #1 ranked app for swimmers. It delivers personalized swim training and tracking to help athletes achieve their goals. And how convenient to have such worldwide events going on during the early growth phases of your company. So I'll leave it to Ferris to get us updated.
Once I get it. Are these recording?
They are, yes.
There you go.
You can't put a limit on anything. The more you dream, the farther you get. Elite athletes dream of winning gold at the Olympic Games. It's the opportunity to represent your country on the world's biggest stage. Now, while most of us won't compete in Rio, we all still aspire to achieve our dreams. At MySwimPro, we're helping athletes around the world achieve their gold medal moments like never before. We're making swimming super simple so athletes can share, compare, and compete just like runners and cyclists do today. We've developed a mobile and web application that delivers a personalized swim training experience that helps athletes achieve their goals. Now, our founding team combines Olympic swimming experience, nationally recognized coaching, and our founders have led mobile teams at Fortune 100 companies. The sport of swimming is growing faster than any other sport and is considered one of the most aspirational sports across nearly every age group. On top of that, the health and fitness industry is booming. And in just the last few years, we've seen these leading mobile fitness apps partner with the largest sports brands in the world. Companies like Adidas, Under Armour, and NBC Sports have spent over $1 billion acquiring the latest and greatest in sports technology companies. Our team is determined to emerge as the leading fitness application for swimmers. And today, MySwimPro is the #1 ranked app for swimmers in the App Store today. Now, the biggest challenge facing our sport is access to structured training and coaching. And as a coach, I've seen firsthand the limited resources available to the over 26 million people who swim for fitness in the United States. But the problem extends well beyond our borders. And globally, there are over 100 million people who don't have access or the opportunity to work with a coach and reach their full potential. You see, if you're not spending hundreds of dollars per month on a personal coach, swimming on your own is hard. It's boring, monotonous, and without the right training plan and without the right guidance, achieving your goals can be a real challenge. And that's where My Swim Pro comes in. We deliver an unbelievable experience for our athletes. Using our dynamic training algorithm, we deliver personalized workouts, instructional video content, and detailed analytics so an athlete can track their progress and measure their improvement. The way it works is pretty simple. You go into the app, you select your workout, and after your swim, you log it. And all your analytics are at your fingertips so you can track your progress towards your goals. It's like a virtual coach that allows you to train wherever and whenever you choose. But what gets me really excited is that we're doing way more than just delivering workouts. We're transforming people's lives. And whether it's helping someone like Edel to lose weight, or helping Tom cross the finish line at his very first triathlon, the success stories that we've heard from our community are truly remarkable and an inspiration to our entire team. And we believe that everyone, including all of you in this room, is just one day away from your gold medal moment. And we exist to empower athletes to achieve their dreams. Now, we've designed our subscription-based business model after the leading fitness apps in the category that see a free to paid conversion rate of about 2%. We launched Premium just a few months ago, and we're already seeing conversion rates above the industry average. To date, we have over 80,000 registered athletes. 30,000 of those are monthly active, and together, they've already logged over 100 million meters on our platform. That's the equivalent of swimming around planet Earth twice. We have over 60,000 followers across our social media, and for the last month, we've been featured on the homepage of the App Store. So if you're on an iPhone, you can go to the App Store. We're right there on the homepage. Now today, we're live on web and mobile. We're building out the social features so we can connect swimmers around the world so they can share, compare, and compete with each other like never before. Up next, we'll grow through pairing with different wearable devices. We've already been approached by some of the biggest names in the industry about building exclusive integrations with our technology. After that, we'll grow through teams, building leaderboards, and sponsored challenges. Now, it's been a thrill to share with you some of the gold medal moments out of our community, and I'd love to speak with you more on how you can be a part of our vision. Thank you.
Really, really awesome update. Jump right into questions. Start in the back.
Is this compatible with Android and Windows platform?
So we're live on iPhone, Android, web app will be launched here in the next few days. No Windows solution, but we're going with the web app as a pretty good alternative to that.
Who are your target? What's your target market? Swimmers, facilitators of swimming?
Yeah. So we're direct to the consumer. The athlete themselves is our target. So typical demographic is, younger middle-aged demographic. So 32-year-old male, lives in San Diego, swims 3 times a week. Typically, these are higher income individuals. They're committed to a healthy lifestyle, and they swim pretty regularly.
Did you say that you had 30,000 paying subscribers?
We have 30,000 monthly active.
How many paying subscribers?
So that number, just won't disclose it now, but as a percentage of those, we're around 2% on iPhone and a little bit less than that on Android.
Is treading the water considered swimming?
So let's get technical, but yeah, treading water, depends how you look at it. I personally feel to be considered like a real, like you can actually swim, you have to make it to the other end of the pool without touching the bottom. Yeah, actually, like while swimming was on TV last week, we see a nice increase in engagement, like while the swimming is on TV, which is pretty cool. A lot of our growth came actually before the Olympic Games and really leveraging this opportunity for us because now swimming is top of mind globally. I mean, you have athletes like Michael Phelps or Katie Ledecky almost everyone in the room probably knows who they are, and that's really rare outside of an Olympic year. So we're taking advantage of that to the fullest.
How much data entry is required to use the application? How will that change with the wearables?
Yeah, so right now, the biggest value prop is we actually deliver the workout to the athlete. So with 3 taps from opening the app, you're at a workout. So you don't have to actually do anything besides tap log it if you actually did that. We have functionality that you can input your own workout manually, like step by step, and be really particular about what you're doing. With regards to wearable, it'll be even easier where if you're wearing a Garmin watch, for example, you'll just like sync automatically wirelessly. You don't even have to open the app actually. It's pretty crazy, but that's the direction we're moving.
I know that the goldfish swim school has become really popular
Mhm.
with this franchise systems. Would this allow an independent coach to potentially, create plans for their clients? Or is it really completely separate, centrally driven?
Yeah, that's one of the things that's on our roadmap is personal coaching, and I'll give you a quick example. So we actually are already doing this. So we have revenue before product where we're working with athletes. We don't have that functionality built into the app yet where they can do like a one-on-one relationship. And that model has done extremely well with regards to like general fitness and wellness, like nutrition and stuff like that. So there's a big parallel that we can do for swimming specifically.
Of the people who convert to your paid model, how many months on average do they stay with you, and why do they leave?
Yeah, so most have stuck around. We've only been live on Premium for like 3 months, so majority are sticking around. So we'll have more data like the longer we're doing that. I've spoken with a few who didn't see the value in it because we offer a 7-day trial, so we get a sense if they don't like it for 7 days, they're just not going to convert. A lot of it has to do with they didn't feel like the value prop was high enough for them specifically because they don't use it regularly enough. So really the person who's converting is someone who's really committed into swimming. They're doing it 3 times a week, and they know their best alternative is spending $100 an hour to hire a personal coach.
Question, Ricky? No. Okay, back here.
Is part of your strategy to target like pools? Because obviously if you don't have a good pool around where you live that's accessible, it's hard to swim no matter how much you're motivated. So it seems to be a good strategy would be to target pools.
Yeah, and actually I was just talking with someone today about that. So that's a potential distribution channel, like partnering with a YMCA or LA Fitness. That's something we're looking at. Our key driver of growth will be through some of the things on our roadmap that involve onboarding different swimming communities, so people who are already aware of the pool that they can go to and they already swim in a pool, so we don't have to necessarily find them a pool, but that's something that we're looking at in the future.
One final question.
Are people actually able to, would they run out of things to do with this? Would there be enough ways for them to create new programs for themselves?
Yeah, so we have a tremendous amount of content already, but there is a finite amount of it, and I think a lot of the value, like we're curators of content, so we're building the workouts and videos ourselves, and so building out more content is something that we're doing, but also making the content dynamic to the athlete, so that way, and having like training plans, so if your goal is to do a triathlon in 12 weeks, we can build you a plan that starts today to your race and is 100% specific to what you want. So that's the direction we're going. So it'll be 100% specific to the athlete.
All right, thanks everybody for the question. All right, you made it to the final pitch. I told you we'd go by quickly. Pleased to welcome back to A2NewTech, Steve. Steven's the co-founder and CEO of Ash and Anvil. Ash and Anvil makes everyday clothes for shorter guys. Short and sweet. Wow, I didn't even mean to do that. Take it away.
I love it.
Yeah, helping. Thank you. Bring these mics back up.
Thank you. I might need to raise it up. As you can see, I'm short. For myself and the millions of American men that are 5'8" and below, buying clothes is tough. Clothes are made for models that are 6'1", many in the room today, not for guys like us. When our shorter guys shop, we have 3 bad options. First, we can get custom clothes. This takes quite a bit of time and money, but it's one way to get the right fit. Second, we can tailor everything we purchase. You go to the mall, pick something up, stop at the tailor on the way home, spend $25, wait a week, but then you end up with a garment that might fit. And third is shop in the kids section. That's actually something that many of us shorter guys do, especially the skinnier among us. Now, if you look at America today, 1 in 3 American men are 5'8" and below. That's a huge number, representing over 40 million adults in our country alone. This number is actually more shorter guys than there are petite women in the US today. But I challenge everybody here, can you think of a shorter men's brand? If you look at the industry, you have men's and women's wear. Industries worth billions of dollars with obviously lots and lots of stores. On the larger end, you have big and tall for men, plus size for women. Again, with billions of industries, hundreds of stores going after those niche. You have petite women's, $9 billion last year, and hundreds of stores. But for shorter guys, there's nothing, even though there's 40 million of us. That's where Ash & Amble comes in. We are defining the short and small, or rather, short and sexy, category of men's fashion, and we're going to be the first major retailer for shorter guys. Now, you can see the shirt I'm wearing today doesn't look great. This is a traditional Ralph Lauren shirt. I bought in my size, a large. The sleeves are too long, the body's too long. Obviously, it doesn't look good. Now let's try Ash & Amble. Now, I am no model, obviously, but this shirt fits much better. The lengths are correct and the proportions are all right for a guy like me. And it's not just me. It's shorter guys of all shapes and sizes. This is a friend of ours wearing a small. And you can see the shirt obviously doesn't work. Ash & Amble looks much better. We launched our online store this past November, and we sold out of our inventory in the first 5 weeks. Since then, we've had over $120,000 of sales of everyday shirts directly to consumer on our website. And the best part is that 96% of our customers love their clothes, and they say they're so glad to have found Ash & Amble. We were actually recently in a CNBC article, and they quoted the chief retail analyst for the NPD group. And he said this is the most underserved and ignored market in apparel, so small and underserved they don't even track it. We truly have a chance to own and create a new industry in menswear and in apparel right now. Now, why are there no major brands going after shorter guys? We have been wearing clothes for many years so far, but we think there's 2 big reasons. The first is that being short isn't cool. Brands like J. Crew, Bonobos, Banana Republic, they spend millions of dollars a year making their brand somewhere that guys want to shop at. If you had a short and small section, the tall and average size guys aren't going to want to associate with that anymore. With Ash & Amble, we're building a brand that is cool from the start and that guys want to associate with in the beginning. The second is that major retailers want the bigger piece of the pie. It's a huge market, a big opportunity for short and small men, but it's not quite as big as the rest of the pie. So major retailers want to go after that key audience. We look at brands like Lane Bryant and Destination XL, leaders in big and tall men's and plus size women's who have owned that space and identified with their customers. And we're doing that with Ash & Amble. Now looking at our current customer, we wanted to have a good idea of who that is as we design new clothes and figure out how to market towards them. Our guys range from 5 foot to 5'9". We have sizes from extra small all the way to 2XL, so covering a big range of shorter guys. And our average age is 35, but guys are a big range there from 20 to 45 on average. Our customers work in tech, finance, healthcare. Industries you can wear casual clothes to work or at least to the bar afterwards. And they live in larger urban areas like San Francisco and New York or Detroit, local to us. When we launched, we bootstrapped the business, didn't have a marketing budget, so we focused on a lot of unpaid approaches, mostly press, which helped create a lot of word of mouth. That brought us pretty far. Moving forward, we have a marketing plan that's threefold to help scale even more. The first is through online searches. There's over 10,000 searches a month for shorter guy clothes, and we want to make sure when that's happening, we're front and center. Second is through Facebook. We can target people through creative ways on there, and we can share a message with them to get guys to try us out. And the third is online influencers, the modern day celebrity. Guys with 50 to 100,000 followers that are rabid and excited about that person, have them try on our clothes and then share that story with everybody they can. Moving forward, we don't want to just make shirts. We want to create a whole wardrobe of clothes for shorter guys on our journey to build the first major retailer. We know that dress shirts, jeans, and chinos are next, since that's what our customers ask for the most. I want to close here by talking about Patrick. He's 5 foot, he's a Georgia State music professor, 40 years old, and he sent us his testimonial and photo one day unsolicited, and said he's sick and tired of shopping at Gap Kids, and he's so glad to have found Ash & Amble. This is a 40-year-old man who has shopped in the kids section, not just in his childhood, but his entire adult life. With Ash & Amble, we want to make sure guys like Patrick and the shorter guys in the audience today never have to shop in the kids section again. Now, I have a bit of a strange ask right now. We are actually in a contest through Hatch Detroit to open up a storefront in the city. We are one of 10 semifinalists, and the top 4 move on to the next round through a public vote, and we win $50,000 to create that storefront in the city. So if everybody could pull out their cell phone, it has to be a cell phone, and it has to be on 4G, because it's tracked by IP address. So if you could pull your cell phone, go to 4G, and then go to that first link there and vote for us, we'd really appreciate that. Woo! Thank you.
Another awesome return presentation. So fire away, folks, starting in the back.
Where's that shirt made and how much does that cost?
Yep, so this retails for $79, and that includes free shipping, exchanges, and returns. We have a few different manufacturing partners in Vietnam, China, and India.
Any plans for doing footwear or businesses?
Yeah, eventually as we grow to have more items, we want to cover everything. Anything where height's a factor and can be a challenge in getting the right fit, we want to help and take care of that. Short term, we want to focus more on everyday and casual clothing. So things like more casual button downs or dress shirts and not quite suits and whatnot. Since a lot of those items are higher end and get custom made or tailored anyways. But long term, that's definitely in the works.
So assuming you know this is not going to go viral, what are the drivers and the numbers to essentially make you the gorilla in this market?
In what context? In the what marketing channels?
Right, you said now you're regional, but how do you expand where you start making some real money?
Yeah, so right now, most of our customers are actually all across the states. New York and San Francisco are our biggest cities by far. So we are shipping around the country, and we do ship to 20 different countries around the world as well. Our growth plans are a couple different things. First off, we're looking at those digital approaches. Those are more scalable. We already have some good acquisition costs on things like Facebook. So continue to optimize those channels and find the right people that way. The next is with product development and releasing new items. We get emails all the time with guys saying, I love your shirts, or I'm not someone that wears casual button downs, but I'd love a dress shirt, or I'd love a polo, or things like that. So there's a whole wardrobe available to grow in the product development side. And then long term, we want to get into stores, whether it's our own brick and mortar or wholesale partnerships. We know that's important. The number is actually that 60% of guys are comfortable buying clothes online and they like doing so. But that means that 40% of guys are not, and they want to touch and feel it first. So we can grow online, build our base of customers, build our product offering, and then move into wholesale and retail options down the road and keep expanding that way. And then eventually internationally as well. There's a big market too.
How do you approach the sizing model being different, right? Like, what's your return policy? Because I could see an extra large for you guys is different than the normal wear, right? So.
Yeah, it's a challenge. I think for a lot of guys, their first time buying shorter guy clothes made for them. So it's a little unique of an experience. Our returns rate right now is about 11%, which is a third of the industry average, so we're pretty happy about that. We've tried to put a lot of time into figuring out how to convey the sizing well. Basically, shorter guys still buy clothes today, and they know what their size is. I know I'm a large, Eric's a medium. Everybody here probably knows generally what their sizes are, which two they fall in between. And we made our sizing around that. The size is mostly built on the chest. If you can't button a shirt, it's not going to look pretty. But if you can button it and it's the right fit here, the sleeves, the neck, the body length, they generally all fall into place. So we try to use what guys know already and go off of that. And when we surveyed customers before we launched, that was one of the big things we asked. How do you want to shop? Do you want a proprietary system? Do you want to shop based on a neck size? Do you want to shop based on the alpha size, small, medium, large? And that was overwhelmingly what people said, so we decided to go with it.
That's kind of a double question. So you're designing all these items yourself, I mean, with your own brand on them? Is that
correct?
Okay. How does that compare? I mean, I can order a dress shirt and I give them my sizes and they'll make it exactly to my dimensions. How is it different from what you can do? Is the cost significantly different than that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So made to measure is what's coming, is popular. There's a lot of companies coming up where it's custom men's clothing for an affordable price, all done online without a tailor. For guys that want to go down that path and pay the price, there is a bit of a premium there. It's a great option. We would encourage our customers to do that too. But it generally takes a lot of time. You have to measure yourself and figure out the right sizing there. There's usually a couple rounds of iterations back and forth to get it right. And it is more expensive. And it is generally only for dressier items like dress shirts, not casual ones. If that's what you want to do, then that's wonderful. But most guys, the type of guy we're going after, is the one that's to buy something, put it on, and go on with their life, and not be the one to measure and whatnot. We're thinking more of a major retailer, not a tailor in the custom experience.
So what I'm thinking is, even among short people, there are a lot of different body styles and types. I mean, for example, I'm a relatively normal or average sized person, but my sleeves are always too short. So I have to look for specific sleeve sizes. So I imagine you have a similar situation.
Yeah, I think for us, one of the, all short guys generally have shorter arms and shorter legs and things like that, which helps. There's some consistencies there. But body types are very different. You have guys that are super slim, you have guys that are bigger, you have people, everybody's shaped in a different way. So for us, long term, we want to have 2 or 3 different fit options. So a traditional cut, a slim fit, an athletic cut, that type of thing. And that will be a way to take care of it. But there's certain things with the shorter population you know is the case, which helps. For us right now, being smaller, having limiting our SKUs is important. You can't make too much too fast, or we'll be in trouble that way for managing inventory. But long term, that will be fun.
I'm going to do a final question. What does success look like for you guys in 5 years? Like, what's driving you to do this?
I like it. We would love to see a day where shorter guys everywhere in the country could easily go to the local Ashland Animal store, try on clothes, and walk out with something that fits well. I think it's crazy that you've had big and tall and petite women's and plus size men's for decades, if not 100 years, and shorter guys have never had that option. So we're hoping that we can provide a great shopping experience to them.
Awesome.
All right.
All right, now we're up to community announcements. So if anyone has anything they want to pitch, if the short announcement you want to make, another meetup, you're looking to hire a certain kind of person, you're in the job market, please line up down here and give everyone a chance to make their announcement. Quiet down for a minute. If you can just project into that mic, great. All right.
Hey.
Time to chat in just a minute, so please attention for the announcements.
Hey everyone, I'm Ari. Recently named partner at a new pre-seed fund associated with a Series A fund named Binary Capital.
Can't hear you.
I'm Ari. I recently was named partner at a pre-seed fund associated with Binary Capital in the Bay. Their investments include Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Grubhub, which is like a college kid's dream. So I'm sure there's people in here that have used all those products. But we're looking for a pre-seed, the Bay pre-seed, so seed in Michigan. So if you have a qualified team and you'd like to work with the best and have follow-on funding, I'm going to be sitting over there.
Where can we find you online? Or physically, like online, is there a good place to
we launch in September, so our website's not up yet, but I'm going to be right there. Just
physically, right here. Exclusive access.
Hey guys, my name's Emily. I do internal ops for Petrichor. We presented in April. We're a container as a service platform. So if you guys remember, we did the WordPress launch. Yeah, we did the WordPress launch in less than 5 minutes. We got it live. So we're actually going live next week, next Monday, and I have free trial bonuses in my back pocket if anybody wants to try our platform. And we're also looking for a developer evangelist. Wow, it's a hard word to say. So if anybody's really, really interested in containers and kind of growing and getting involved in that industry, come talk to me. I'll be over there so you guys can separate yourselves from people over there.
Hello, my name is Ahmed. I am a patent agent and a co-founder of Intel on Patents. I help startup companies and sole inventors get patents for their ideas. And that's really great choice if you're looking to get investors interested in you, to gain credibility and acquire customers. So I'll be right there if you want to ask any questions or get a flyer. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Michael, and I'm here on behalf of my friend who works at the Michigan Center for Translational Pathology here at the Cancer Center of the University of Michigan Health System. And they have developed cutting-edge genomics tools to treat cancer, and they're currently building a genomics web tool that the scientific community can use to access all the sequencing data they've built. They're looking for a front-end developer specializing in JavaScript, specifically React or Angular, if you know about that. So if you or a friend are interested in this opportunity, either full or part-time, talk to me after. I'll be happy to talk to you. Thank you.
Hey guys, just a couple announcements. I run the A2NewTech, which is kind of similar to A2NewTech, except you drink more. So we're having our next one 2 weeks from now. It's usually 2 weeks after every A2NewTech, and it's going to be at Mezzavino this time. There's about 10 spots left to RSVP on the Meetup website. It's the same Meetup website as the other one, so go to it. Only a few spots left. I also run a group called Coffee House Coders, so if you want to learn how to build some of these startups, search for us on Meetup. We're there as well. And then finally, just briefly, if you're looking to post jobs for startups, I run a startup called True Job, which has the best selection of Ann Arbor startup jobs, and if we aren't already scraping your startup job, you can add it to the site for free or host meetups jobs for free as well. Reach out to me, I'll be in the back, and thanks.
Hi, my name is Amber. I'm currently looking for employment in a customer service or project management role, and I enjoy working at startups. So thank you. I'll be right there.
Thanks, Amber.
Hey everybody, my name's Ryan. I'm pretty new to Ann Arbor, and I'm an art director, graphic designer, and photographer. Work in apps, websites, all kinds of stuff. Looking for some new collaborations, so just give me a shout if you guys feel like talking. Thanks.
Donnie was my name. We've had a company in Ann Arbor, Michigan for about 50 years, and we're in the process of converting it from catalog-based to digital. And of course, we've been online for a number of years, but we'd like to cut out the expensive catalogs and optimize our websites to the greatest degree. I've had minimal success with various outsourcing in doing that. I'm looking to partner or to work with someone with expertise in this area. As you hunt and peck around in that transition, we found it difficult to do with a number of people with various ideas, so we'd like to get some specific direction with some expertise in this area. It's sporting goods related, safety related. We carry about 6,000 products. It certainly has a distribution center that's fairly large, and so it's an established business with great potential on the web end that we want to develop, and we're seeking some help in the greatest city in the world.
All right, thanks so much. Just a couple wrap-up announcements. Our next event, same time, same place, third Tuesday of September, be September 20th in here. If you or somebody you know might want to pitch, organizers at A2NewTech.org is the site. And yeah, that's a wrap. Another round of applause for all of our presenters this evening.